I'm Lisa, welcome back to my channel. Today it's all about Disney and savings. I've been asked so many times for this video and I'm sorry it's taken me a little while to record. I wanted to make sure I had enough information for you and I've collated it all together and hopefully you will find this helpful. And even if you aren't going to Disney, I think some of the savings tips are handy for no matter what kind of savings you're wanting to make. For us, Disney or Orlando has always been the main goal, and it's having these big trips to aim for that has really taught us how to save. So let's get started. I think I've got 10 tips with a bonus one. So hopefully it's helpful and it's geared around savings, as in to save your money, but then also saving as well to cut back here and there and offers and that kind of thing. So it's a little bit of everything with the saving. Number one, when you're saving for a big trip, I really recommend you work out, do your homework and work out how much this holiday is going to cost you. Do all the homework. Obviously it's not going to be exact, but so you have a rough idea. And then the best way to do it is to work out how much you can afford to save each month. So the idea being, you work out, say your holiday is going to cost £10,000 as a rough example. And then if you work out you can afford £500 a month, you know that will take you about 20 months to save for your holiday. Obviously, the more you can save, the quicker you can go on holiday. But that's a really good idea, and it just gives you a rough idea of how long it's going to take and what you need to, or how much you need a month to save. Now there are lots of places where you can, like Disney for example, or Virgin Holidays, you can book your holiday and you can pay it off monthly installments. Or you can then save it in monthly installments and then pay it towards the end. If you're doing a DIY, which is what we tend to do, you will obviously need money for your flights and things like that up front, and then you can pay off car hire, hotel fees and bits and pieces as and when you can. My biggest tip is to have a journal or a notebook and use this to help you. I always start off, I do have another video which is all about my planner for when we go away. I will link that up below. It's a really good video and will really help you, and it really helps us. I would never plan a trip without one now, but I start off at the front by listing every single thing we need to book. And then I write down how much it's going to cost, and then I tick it off as and when I've paid it, or if I've paid a deposit, and then I will mark that off. And you can really plan that way. At the back of the book I always have our savings sections, and this is something else that's really helpful. This then takes me into number 2, which is all about physical savings. I highly recommend you have a separate bank account for your savings. We call it the Florida Fund. And nothing touches this fund. I would never dip into it for birthdays, for groceries, for Christmas, anything. It's a very safe place, and I put my savings into there. So for example, everything goes into that pot. I have a set amount that I like to try and save each month as a minimum, and if I can save more I will. And then when I need to pay for things like flights, car hire, park tickets, that money gets taken out of that account. My husband and I also have 2 other separate accounts, and we actually open high interest accounts. There's lots of places that do them. For example, I have one with Santander, and my husband has one with Nationwide. Do take a look into these, they're really good. I open a new one with Santander every year, and basically I think it's a 3% interest. You have a set day when your money goes in. Mine is £200 a month, and my money goes in every month, and then at the end of the year you get paid your interest. So if you've paid in over, that will affect your interest. You can't do that. It's a set amount that's allowed. And obviously if you take money out of that, it will also affect it. But it works out between about £50 and £60. I can't remember what it was, a year. And because my husband does it, he does it with Nationwide. And it works out about, like I said, about 50, 60 pounds. So for us both doing it, that's 2 free meals when we go away. That's how we look at it. And that money, mine, the £200 a month is always our food money when we go away. And his money is spending money. And although that sounds a lot, we always come back with money, always. But we always have money left over. But it's nice to know it's there when you go away if you need it. We've had holidays before where money has been really, really tight. Finances have changed just before we've gone away, and it's not fun when you're having to be really careful. But this way it really helps. So we have our account for the savings, and then we have the 2 set accounts where we both put £200 into an account each month, and that's the spending money. Those accounts do change into normal accounts after the year, and then you have to reapply again the following year. The other thing which is in with the savings, piggy banks. We do all have a piggy bank in this house, and that's for small change that goes in. I empty my little purse with any change. I don't tend to get cash out much these days. I don't tend to have cash on me. So, but any change I do have, if for example one day we were in the woods and there was a £5 note, that went in the Florida fund. When you return, we shop at Waitrose. That's our only local supermarket. When we shop at Waitrose, and if, like for example, I bought a bag of potatoes and they'd actually gone rotten, you take them back, you get your potatoes given back to you, and you also get the money in return. And I would then, for example, put that money straight into my pot. If anyone gives me any money, if for example I take money out to go and get my nails done, if there's money left over, I would put that in the pot. I think this year I've saved about £300 in my piggy bank. So it's doable, and it's surprising how much or how quickly it amounts up. I've heard of people doing £2 coins and £1 coins. That could be a way that you do it as well. Number 3, another way to save. We find this really helpful. We could be sat in and say, I really fancy a Domino's. We know as a family we usually get like a £25 deal when we order Domino's. And then you say to yourselves, do you really need a Domino's? As lovely as it is, it's not the healthiest of things to eat. We're always trying to watch our weight before we go away, and that's £25 we don't need to spend when we have money at home. So then we say no, and we will transfer that £25 into the Florida fund, and I will physically go online and transfer it over. We do this so often. We could be out and about, I might see a cushion that I like and I'm tempted, it's maybe £10, and I will go home and I will transfer the £10 into the Florida fund. It's as easy as that. And again, you will be surprised how quickly that mounts up. Right, the next one, number 4, isn't so much saving money, it's actually saving you money to get money off things. It's collecting air miles. I don't know if that actually made sense then, but we collect air miles. I am so grateful. I have a really nice group of friends, and it was these ladies that really got me into the whole air mile thing. We'd been collecting air miles, but we didn't know what to do with them, and it's really taught us and shown us a whole different way of doing things. I'm sure if you search online you can find out lots more information than I have. We always collect with Virgin. We use Virgin. We use the Amex cards, but they are actually coming to a halt. Virgin are now associated with MasterCard, I believe. The privileges, I think, are more or less the same. At the moment, we're still collecting £2 a mile, but I think it's changing with the new MasterCard to 1.5 mile a pound. So not quite so good. But at the moment, we are with Amex, although you can't join at the moment at all now. But basically, when you start, I think you have a set amount that you can spend. I can't remember if it's something like a couple of thousand or £1,000 in 3 months or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But then you get a huge big, like I think 20,000 miles or something as a reward. We also, every 6 months, we go over to Gold Amex, and we take it in turn, my husband and I, every 6 months. So at the moment, I've got the Gold Amex, and we've cancelled his, and then we know in October, I will refer him, so he gets 9,000. No, I will get 9,000, I think it is, miles for referring him. He opens up his account. He has to spend, I think it's £1,000 or something, I can't remember what it is, in 3 months, and then he gets was it 2,000? I can't remember, but he gets 22,000 miles, which is more or less enough for a flight. And then I cancel mine, he refers me in 6 months, and we just keep going round and doing that. It's a really good way to collect miles. Plus then on our normal miles card with Virgin, we're collecting everything that we spend. We use our cards, and we're constantly collecting miles, whether we're just going to a local supermarket for a couple of pints of milk, whether we're doing the car's MOT, whether we're booking flights. We will use our cards wherever we can, but we're also very, very strict that we pay them off. That's really important, otherwise it defeats the whole object. I'm very set. Every week I go in and I pay off my cards so that I never have any interest to pay. I'm very strict with myself. The other good thing, we have the higher, at the moment it's the black Amex card with Virgin. It is £140 a year, but what you get in return, it really pays off. And also we both end up with free upgrades as well, and there's enough for the 4 of us to get economy flights to the States, and we all get upgraded to premium, which is really nice. And I think last time it cost about £1,300 for us all to book and fly to Orlando. That was in the summer. And that's obviously with our free upgrades, so that's traveling for 4 adults in premium class to Orlando return, which I think is a really good price considering we were expected to spend about £1,000 each for economy. So I think that's a great price. Now, number 4, there are other ways to collect points and miles as well. Virgin, for example, have shops away. I would highly recommend you looking into this if you want to start collecting miles. You can go on there, you can search for your shops that you want to shop in. So say, for example, Sainsbury's, Boots, Waitrose, any of the regular places that you go. They bring you up the link, and then you click on there and it takes you to the website as if you were normally shopping. You do your shopping, but you collect miles at the same time. I also have, for example, there's other ways of doing it. I use eBay a lot, and I've connected my Nectar card to eBay. So every single time I also do shops away with Virgin. So I would go into Virgin for eBay. I would do my purchases in eBay, so then I'm getting my Amex miles, and I'm also getting Nectar points. Every year we can do, I don't use Sainsbury's, I don't have one close to me, so my Nectar points are purely from eBay, and I have enough to do my Christmas shopping at the end of each year in Sainsbury's. That's how many points I collect by doing that. I also use Quidco. I know there's other cashback sites like Top Cashback, I think it is, something like that. I use Quidco, and a friend got me into it. And again, if I don't use Shops Away, I will use Quidco. It's another referral site, and I'm getting roughly about £30 to £40 a month back on that, which again always goes into the Florida Fund account, always. I will always check off whether I'm best to do Shops Away with Virgin or Quidco. I booked our Universal stay through Quidco last year, and I got £150 cash back. I booked my Disney stay last year and I got £90 cash back. It's really worth looking into it. Even if I do Superdrug and it's something like 3%, and I might just sometimes get 90p back or something, it's worth it. As we know, every penny really counts. Number 5 is to cut back in other areas. We have become really good at this. We drive an old car, I have to admit, and my husband hates it. He was always a new Audi person, swapping his car every couple of years, always had car finance until we got together, and our car is now, I think, 13 years old. We haven't had car finance for, I think, about 10 years, and it's so nice. I know he's desperate for a new car, and I will hold off for as long as I can, because I know that's money that's going into our holiday account every year. But I'm also really frugal in other areas. We needed a new stair carpet a few years ago. We had holes in the bottom of it. Instead of spending all that money, we ripped it up and we painted the stairs. I love wooden stairs, so I'm quite happy. But there's lots of other areas. I'm quite happy to go into charity shops and shop. I will shop in Primark. I know it, do you know, people are always funny when you say you shop in Waitrose, but because I budget plan, because Waitrose is on my doorstep, it does help now that our daughter has a part-time job at Waitrose, so we do get discount in there, but I shopped in there anyway. My weekly food budget is so low. I cook everything from scratch. There is very, very little wastage in our house, and because I cook to a meal plan, I buy what I need, my costs are low, and if I were to go to other cheaper supermarkets, I'm traveling out of the area. I work from home, so that's time when I'm not at home promoting my business and things like that, so I feel that's costing me money. But there are other ways to cut back. And number 7, I think I might have more than I thought actually. Number 7 is to get selling. This practically paid for our 2012 trip. I went crazy on eBay, and nowadays you've got Facebook to sell on, and obviously you don't have selling fees on there. There's so many other places, Shpock, I want to say Fig Leaves, it isn't, that's the lingerie place. What's the other place? Can't think. There's so many different places online though. Sell your things. I went through the house, I listed everything. I meant to do it this year. I have got so much to sell and I just haven't had the time. I generally work 7 days a week, so I really struggle with time, but I really recommend it. It's such a good way to declutter and make money, and you really can make good money if you try. Car boot sales as well. I have been known to do a few car boot sales, and again, you can generally make £80, £100 in a morning. And remember to transfer that money into your Florida fund afterwards. I think we're on number 8. Number 8, get your kids to do their own savings. We have always done this. Our first trip, the kids were 5 and 7, and we've always done this. They save their money. It's a really good way to get them into saving and make them more responsible and also appreciative. We don't obviously expect them to buy their own ice creams and drinks and things like that when we're out, but souvenirs and treats, that's where their money goes. And I tell you what, it really helps when you're in a store. They don't pester the whole time. They really do have a think about what they want to spend their money on, and you'd be surprised they don't keep nagging you. When it comes to birthdays, when it comes to Christmases, we have always all saved our money. People know to give us money, and that goes into the fund, and I do make a note of that in the book, so I will know. For example, I know I've got £70 of my birthday money this year to spend when we go away. Last year I bought a necklace, and I bought, I think, some Converse or something, but I know, oh, and I bought lingerie. I know that that's my birthday money to spend, and I don't feel guilty. I went purposely to Alex and Arnie to buy my necklace, and it also feels that this was from my mother-in-law, and so it has a happy memory going to Disney Springs to buy it. It's the same. They know what money they have to spend. I have it in an envelope, and it really does help, but it gets them into good habits as well. And then it also means that you're not spending money on things that you don't need to buy as well. The next one, every penny counts. That's really important when you're saving for a trip. It's so easy to get caught up when you're booking things for an expensive holiday and you think, oh, it's only another £50, it's only another £20. You can really cut back by making note of what you're spending and not spending where you don't need to. For example, we've decided not to stay over at the airport this month, this year. It's about £50. We've also decided not to book, we're not keeping our car at the airport this time. Usually we pay and have it at the car park, but it's actually working out cheaper for us to get a taxi and back. Last year we spent £50, I think, for the hotel the night before. Gatwick is a bit different because you can check in the night before. Heathrow we can't, which is where we're flying from. But the meal as well, and then it cost us £500 in the end. We were away for a month, £500 to park, and actually it's costing us £170 for taxi there and back this time. So there are ways you can cut back, and if it is just £20 here or there, it really does amount up. And again, when you've got your book and you list these things, you will see how you can save your money and where you can save it. I think I'm on 10, I've lost count. Anyway, the next one is all about price matching. When you are buying park tickets or attraction tickets, anywhere like that, really, really do your research. Again, that's where my journal comes in. I will write down all the websites and the prices when I'm looking. You will be surprised, the prices really do vary. And if you feel more confident in booking in with a certain one, but it's a little bit more expensive, speak to them. They will all price match. As long as it's the same offer, they will price match for you. Also, when you're doing your research, have a look and see when annually the places tend to hike up their prices. Disney, for example, tend to be around April time. Their prices, their annual prices will go up. But you can buy your tickets for the year ahead. So for example, if you were traveling this year, your prices would have gone up around April. You could have bought your tickets, your park tickets in Feb, for example, or March for next year. Just make sure that they are valid for that year. Quite often with park places, you can select 2018 or 2019, but you can purchase them before they go up in price. And it's a really good way of saving some money. Also have a look, Disney do the free meal offer, and it really does work out free. They do their dining plan. We did it last year. We stayed at the beach club for 6 nights and our dining the whole time was free. We had snacks. We had 1 sit-down meal a day, which did include the expensive character meals, which for us can be up to about $200 for a meal. And then we also had like quick service, what they call, so like counter service, where you order at the counter and sit down. I do believe it now includes 1 alcoholic drink per person as well. It saved us so much money, and we were able to eat in places we wouldn't have usually chosen to eat because they are so pricey when you as a family travel. There are other savings you can make as well. We always used to get the kids eat free card. I think it was $10 or £10 per child, I believe, or was it 1 child? I can't remember, but they often used to come free with different places. I think it's up to the age of 10, so we haven't used them for a while. And you get all the restaurants listed, and they were popular restaurants: McDonald's, CC's. We used to go to some of the buffet places when the kids were small, and the kids would eat free. And it's a really good saving to make. And also check for any coupon offers before you go away. I always go online and I print off various offers, go to all the stores that you can think of where you know you will shop, print them off, or have the apps so that you've got the offers on your phone. Bath and Body Works, for example, they always have great offers. I really like my crafts and stationery. Michael's do great offers. Michael's is a huge craft store, and you can print off their coupons and also use in Joann's, for example. But everywhere has offers, so I highly recommend you get looking. Even the restaurants, if you sign up, you will often get maybe a free appetizer. Things like that. Have a look, sign up to newsletters, and start having a look where those offers and savings can be made. My next one is all about sharing meals. The meals in the States generally are so much bigger than what we have at home. It is not frowned upon over there to ask for 1 meal and 2 plates. My daughter and I do it all the time. I hate the waste. They are so good with giving doggy bags over there. Again, it's the norm to give you a container for you to take away, but when you're on holiday, you don't always want it the next day. We've done that before and we've ended up having to bin it because it's gone off, or you could be on the way to a park, for example. You don't then want food sat in your car and it can't then be eaten. Holly and I, for example, when we go out for breakfast, we will order a breakfast and ask for 2 plates, and we split it between us. We've done it with burgers before. Though sometimes with our evening meal, we will take our food away, and then we will, if we know we're going straight back to the resort, we will have it for lunch, for example, the next day. It's a really good saving to make, and like I said, it's not frowned upon. In Disney, for example, it's normal for us to order 2 lunch meals and share between the 4 of us. We like to eat little and often. I would rather do that, and then we might get an ice cream, for example, later in the afternoon. We're saving money, and we're not wasting food as well. Especially when it's so hot, you don't want to eat the amount you usually would eat. I think it's little and often is the key. We also always have water when we're out. Water is always free no matter where you go. Iced water, whether it be in a restaurant, we ask for iced water. It's a really good way of saving money and staying hydrated. We don't do fizzy drinks generally in the day. We will for our evening meal when we go out. That's a little bit different, but it's my way of making sure the kids are drinking plenty of water. The parks will all give you free iced water as well. So like I said, it's a really good way of saving money and staying hydrated. And as adults, you can generally order a kids meal as well. I do it all the time. I do it in England, to be honest, if I can. I don't eat huge amounts when I go out, and I would rather have a kids meal. Again, in the States, it's really not frowned upon. And especially in the Disney parks, you actually will get like your chicken nugget meal, and then you'll have a cookie and a drink as well. And it works out really good value. And like I said, it's not frowned upon. Obviously, if you're going to buffets and things like that, character meals, you can't, you are an adult. But for the general restaurants, order a kids meal if you want one. It will save you money. And again, there's no waste. My next one is to do with packing, and that's to really plan ahead. Again, my planning journal really comes into this. I make a list well in advance, months in advance, of everything we need. And I'm talking toiletries, kitchen. We always have a kitchen when we go away, so all the kitchen bits and pieces. And I see it that I'm getting everything for free for about 6 months beforehand. I will do all the buy one get one frees, or the buy three get one free, whatever they are, buy three for the price of two, you know what I mean. And so toothpaste, shampoos, any hair products, any shower gels, anything I can, I will do those offers. I will only buy them on offer. I will shop around, and I will then put the freebies to one side. I have a great big bag in the bottom of my wardrobe, and I collect the toiletries over about 6 months before we go away. So I see it that all our toiletries are free when we go away, or on offer anyway. I know a lot of people like to do their shopping when we get there. I don't want my shopping, my spending money, my holiday spending money going on toiletries when I get out to the States. I don't want to do that. This way I feel they're free. And then what we always do, we have a great big bag of our toiletries. We weigh it before we pack it, and you'd be surprised. It's usually anything between 12 and 16 kilos, but we know that's not coming back with us. I don't tend to bring little bits of shampoo, shower gels, things like that. So the majority of that, apart from obviously expensive sun lotions and things, the majority of it isn't coming back. So I know that's luggage or goodies to buy out there to bring back. I also shop in Poundland as well. That's another good place to pick up all your holiday needs. Like boxes of 10 dishwasher tablets are £1. So I've worked out roughly how much I need, and I've taken 2 packets of those. So that's £2 for 20. And you'd be surprised, again, I've picked up like detox wipes, just to wipe the kitchen and bathrooms over, and just things like that. They're exactly the same as what you'd buy in a regular supermarket, but they're £1. My final thing isn't about saving at all, but it's about making yourself familiar and doing your homework so you know exactly what you're spending out there. There's nothing worse. You've spent all this time, you're excited about your holiday, you've planned all these lovely days out, you know how much money you've got to spend, then you come and you have nasty surprises. Did you know it's over $20 now to park at Disney? I know it was $20 when we were there last summer. I believe it's gone up. We upgraded to annual passes last year, so we don't actually pay for parking. But you imagine you're going out there and you didn't realize that's how much parking you've got. So a minimum it's 20. And like I said, I know it's gone up. You imagine you're going for 10 days, that's $200 you've got to spend out of your spending money that you weren't aware. There are hidden costs when you go to the States. It's so annoying. We know over here it's one amount and you pay that. There's no hidden costs. You go to the States, you've got sometimes resort fees, you've got parking fees even at some of the hotels, and then again when you get to the parks it's all the tax that's added on. You've then got the cleaning fees as well. So many places add all these hidden costs and you're sometimes not aware of it. So please do your homework. If you haven't been out to the States before, tax is always added on when you get your check. So whether you're in the stores, whether you're in restaurants, there's always tax. In Florida, it's 6 to 7%, but obviously different states have different taxes. And then there's tips as well. It's customary to tip. It can be anything up to 20%. So again, if you're not familiar with that, that's an extra cost. You imagine if you're going out for, say, $100 meal each night for 2 weeks, that really does amount up. So please do your homework, have a look at where you want to go, and really make sure you're aware of all those hidden costs. I think I've got one final tip, and that is to make sure you have a bag of quarters or dollars, and dollars even, when you pick up your hire car. There's lots of toll roads out there, and it's so worrying when you get to a toll road as well, especially if you aren't familiar with where you are and you need change. We've always got a bag of quarters and some dollar bill notes. We keep them in the center of the car, in the thingy there, in the armresty thing. We've always got change on us so that we're never caught out. I think that's it. I think I've covered all my points. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure I can learn so much. So if you have any ways that you like to save, any tips, any offers, anything, I would love to know. Please leave all those comments below. Let me know what I'm missing out, and obviously it will help other people as well. Let me know if you've learnt anything. I would love to know if you've picked up something new from this video that you didn't know about. Tell me if anything has helped you. It would be really nice to know. I do hope this has helped. It's such a big thing for us to save and go over there, isn't it? You plan these trips, they're supposed to be the most magical time of your life, and it does all come down to good homework, good research, and I think that is the key to a successful trip. Please tell me if you have enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you don't already. I'm a bit of a mixed bag. I like my crafts, I love my creating, I love my planning, my organizing, but I just love my Disney trips, and we've got one coming up very soon, so please subscribe. I will be having lots of vlogs and all kinds of exciting things coming up very soon, but for now it's all about the planning. So please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Thank you, bye.